All right, Rippers, welcome back. Thanks for coming to see the more in-depth video of the hunt for ammo that we did here just recently. And we'll go over what we got this last paycheck, okay? Well, might have been a couple paychecks, but anyway, you know what I mean. You got to save up little bits at a time. But one thing I will say is that out there on the shelves right now, things aren't dire. It's not like they're disappearing. Nobody needs to run out and hurry up and get any of this stuff. Just when you see it, get it, maybe, if you have the funds to do it and you've gotten your budgeting done. So that being said, it's not that they're flying off the shelves. I will say on the pistol side of things are getting a little leaner, right? But on the rifle side of things, seems to be okay, but the prices are up there a little bit. But one of the things here on the West Coast, we have a store called Buy Mart. Now, if you go to Buy Mart and you're a member there or whatever, you can go in there. They got some pretty good prices on their ammo, and they run sales that really, I think, and I appreciate them because they're fair on their prices and whatnot like that. Because when you go to places like Sportsman's and the other big box stores that still sell ammo, well, it can be up there. You know what I mean? Right. So that being said, we got some Armscore 22. Doesn't list the velocity on these, but I'd bet that they're about 1,300 feet per second. And we've got, oh, Benny's barking at somebody. Anyway, he'll stop. They're 36 grain, high velocity. You can get them in either a hollow point, which would be, let's see if I can show you guys here. Of course, this box doesn't want to open. Okay, come on here. Give me that. Give it. There we go. You got this electroplated hollow point like this, which is really good for varmints and things like that because it'll expand real well. Or you can get it in a 36 grain. Oops, get that trash out of here. 36 grain. Let's see if I have any of the other one. That's the hollow point, and that's a hollow. So they're all hollow points that I got. But you can get them in a solid nose like this, that are just a lead nose, no electroplate or whatever they call that on there. Solid projectile. Now, these right here I got at Buy Mart. Now, these right here were $4.99 for a box of 50. And what's really sad about this is that you used to be able to get 250 rounds for $4.99. In fact, I bet you there was a time you got 500 rounds for $4.99. But it is what it is. So I always, whenever I go in, even if I get nothing, I always get me at least one box of whatever 22 they have on sale, because you sure can. I mean, just look at that. That's 100 rounds. So imagine, it doesn't take much to save up 1,000 rounds, 10,000 rounds. You know what I mean? And it's a round that, no matter how much of it you have, you can use it for practice. You can use it for, varmint control. You can use it for protection. There's a lot of things you can use it for, and it'll get the job done. It's not the best option, but it is the easiest to stockpile, right? And if things were to come to a screeching halt or a bumpy road or just a big, hard, hairy turn, right? That's one thing that you'll be able to have lots of in a small place that'll get you through the times, right? Right. So that being said, whenever I see these on sale, I always get me some. And this is the 22 long rifle for suppressed 22s, right? It is slower. That's why it's suppressible, because it doesn't make a sonic crack from the bullet itself breaking the sound barrier. So you could be really whisper quiet with this with a 22 on. It's a 45 grain, solid nosed 22 projectile, moving at 970 feet per second. Great for eliminating small animals or rodents and things like that in town. If you have a suppressor on there, don't say I said that. By the way, I'm not giving any advice. This is just all satirical. They're just my opinions, and I don't know what I'm talking about anyway. So that being said, this is a great option to look at if you have a suppressor or something like that, right? So then we're going to go to 9mm. Now, Buy Mart again. Oh, this was, I think, just under $6, so that's not too bad for subsonic there. Then again at Buy Mart, we had these Adrenaline Buffalo Precision Series, they call it. It is a brass case, full metal jacket, right? There's 50 rounds in there, 115 grain. It's not going to give me the velocity on here. These are ammunition made in Turkey. The reason I get this is good stuff for practice, getting out there and shooting, practicing, right? Now, the only thing about this is don't use it as self-defense ammo. And the reason I'm saying that is, yes, it'll work in a pinch, but they tend to have hard primers, and with hard primers you can get it where it won't go off. Now, for practice reasons, that could actually be a good thing, because you could practice your malfunctioned tap rack, whatever system you use. It'll give you an ability to do that on the fly and not know it's coming, right? But don't count on it for your home defense, right? You want this to be just practice ammo, and you can save the brass for reloading, so that's a good thing. Then, of course, over at Sportsman's, they always have, well, they've been having, again, 5.56 is back on the shelf. Whenever I see me some boxes of M855, I always pick up some. 62 grain is a bullet weight I like to shoot out of my ARs. They're 20 rounds. I think they were, what was that, about $14 a box. No, take that back. They were on sale for $11.99. It's 3,060 feet per second. Although I'd test that, because I think that the ammo companies are not quite loading to the specifications that they list right there. But remember that that's probably from a 20-inch barrel, so yours isn't 20-inch. So if it's less and you're shooting a 16-inch barrel, don't be alarmed if it's a little bit less, because it should be. But it should be getting close to that. So that being said, I picked me up some boxes of that M855 for my 5.56. Now, I have 223s as well. Got a nice little Cooper single shot that I love getting out there to shoot varmints and stuff with. And I picked me up some of this. This is Ammo Incorporated. 50 rounds, so it's a bigger box. Instead of a 20 round, you got 50 rounds. This is basically S109, which is just your full metal jacket, military loading or NATO loading. This is a great round to have in your ready to go rifle, right? And you get 50 rounds of it, and if I remember right, it's like $20 something for a box. So really good. It's brass cases, so you can use it for reloading. And again, it's 62 grain, which is what I like to shoot out of my rifles, because it's a good heavy bullet and it's stable, good for shooting long ways too. Also too, you can use this, like my Cooper is an Ackley improved, so I can shoot this in that rifle and be able to fire form the cases and then reload them down the road, right? So that's a great one to look at. Also good ammo for practice. Then they also at Weimar had Ammo Incorporated 308, 168 grain. I tried to stay, I like 150 grain because it's faster, but I want a little bit more stability at range and knockdown. So I try to buy all my 308 ammo at 168 grain. But if you like 150, get 150. Just whatever you do, stick with that weight. So whatever ammo manufacturer you buy, try to buy that, either 160, 165, right in that same range, so you don't have to worry about resighting in your rifle or much of a difference of 0, right? So that being said, these are 308, 168 grain, boat tail hollow point. Now, all that means is the bullet is a boat tail, so it kind of curves in like this, right, on the back, and then comes to a point. And the point is a hollow point. See how you see a little tiny hole right there? That makes for a nice, accurate bullet. And quite honestly, for a $13.99 box of ammo, this is actually a really good ammo for practicing, especially sighting in your rifle, that kind of thing. Muzzle velocity is 2,650 feet per second. That's pretty darn good. And at 100 yards, it's still maintaining 24.55. So that's really good performing bullet. That's a great, my guess is that's probably a Sierra Match King bullet in that, which is a really accurate bullet. Great ammo for practice and for sighting in and stuff like that. Then you've got and you'll see that it was 168. You'll see that this next box I got was 308, 168 grain ELD match. Now, I always get a few boxes of these because they hold themselves to higher quality standards and measurements of their powder and overall length, crimping. I mean, everything is done slower and more precisely. The ELD match bullet is just a lead bullet with a copper jacket and a heat-resistant plastic tip on there. And it has usually a bullet shape. What do they say here? It is a, what do they call that? Yeah, the ogive. It's called the Pioneering Secant Ogive Profile, provides the best aerodynamics. So the shape of the bullet, basically, it's a nice long, flat bullet that helps with its basically BC. The ballistic coefficient is what that means. The higher your ballistic coefficient, usually the more accurate the bullet is, to put it in layman's terms, right? So you'll see that this one's 50 feet per second more than these were. It's 2,700 feet per second, which, and you know what I like about this Hornady is they give you a drop chart here. So right here, what this is saying is, if you zero your gun or zero your round in or your rifle in at 100 yards, 2 inches high, it should be 0, meaning right on the bullseye at 200. And then at 300, it'll be 8 inches low. At 400, it'll be 23.5 inches low. And then at 500, it'll be 47.1 inches low. Now, if you have a reticle in your scope that has a ranging reticle with hash marks and whatnot, you'll probably just get it zeroed at 100 and then go by the hash marks. But if you don't, what you can do by this is you just take this. You could just cut it right out of the box if you wanted, or write it on a piece of paper. I'd get it laminated and stick it on my stock with a little bit of tape. And the reason why is you can take a quick look at this, and if you say your target's at 400 yards, well, you just got to hold 23.5 inches high. So basically, if you aim over the top of its head, say it's your target's head, you're going to hit him probably right smack in the chest. So, or high chest. So that being said, it really comes in handy to have this information. I think that's really great that they've started putting this onto the boxes and whatnot. As well. So this is a really premium ammunition. It does have a premium price. So, if you just went with this, you can't go wrong. This is going to be a great shooter as well. And we'll shoot some of this stuff out at the range to find out. Now, the last one right here is, now they call it California compliant. Now, a lot of people will go, oh yeah, California compliant, California, right? Well, and that's true. California is a tyrannical state, but the reason why I like this ammo, one, it's right in that range, 165, so it's a little lighter than the other stuff. But it's this CX bullet, which is the reason they say California compliant is California doesn't want lead. So they're trying to eliminate lead in the environment. Well, that being said, that means this is a copper alloy type bullet. So it has a boat tail and a Spitzer point plastic point on there. Very good BC, ballistic coefficient on it. So it's a really accurate bullet. But look at the retention. Look at that. It retains probably about 95 to 99% of its bullet. This is something that goes through bone, walls, other protective devices, those kind of things, right? And keeps its shape, right? And punches hard. This is a knock 'em down type of bullet, right? So that being said, here again, they put it on here. It's still moving at 2,750 feet per second, which is, that's 50 feet per second faster. That's why they got the vroom vroom here, vroom, vroom. So that being said, at 100 yards, it's 2 inches high. If you sighted in that way, it'd be 0 at 200, 8 inches low at 300, 23.9 inches at 400 low, and 48.4 inches low at 500, right? So you can plug all that information in. Really helps you out there shooting. This is a great bullet for penetration. It's not something that I would use in, say, close quarters, things like that, because it's going to go right through most soft, small size things like people, you know. So that being said, I hope this helped you guys in making your decisions with ammo. This is also a good, I forgot to, this ammo too also is made to some pretty higher tolerances. So it's a very consistent, accurate bullet. But that's what we got at the most recent hunt for ammo. Don't be freaking out. There's still lots of ammo out there. Wait for it to find it on sale, right? Don't litter. Well, be always looking and be always collecting, right? Because it is that time, because they're always trying to put restrictions on ammo, firearms, and our rights whenever you aren't watching. So be alert, be aware, always be aware of your surroundings, always carry, and stay safe and secure. Until we see each other next time, adios and aloha.